Welcome, we're in the bathroom, and if you click this video, you're probably interested in learning how to install a new bathroom mirror above your vanity. That's where I'm at. We've got our double vanity here, you can see behind me, and some tape marks. I've got the old mirror down, and we're gonna be putting up this new mirror. It's anti-fog and LED lighting, a variety of different light features. We'll unpack it, unbox it, and get it hooked up. We do have a problem to solve though. We've got some electrical that we're gonna need to do, so let the fun begin. So power was off, took the old light fixture down and removed the old mirror. You can see the old mirror mounts were about right here. It was a 36 by 36, kind of a, well, 39 by 39 actually, pretty much a perfect square. We didn't like that. We really wanted to maximize the width of the vanity, which happens to be 61 inches or so. And so we opted for the 61 inch wide. And you can see there are rough tape marks here just to kind of get a general idea of what we wanted. I do recommend that if you're not sure which size, get some tape out and do some measurements and you can kind of visualize that a little better. So, by the way, family's toothbrush is nice. And so we've got a mirror that's 36 inches tall. I didn't want to go any taller to block that. Actually, we considered it. They do make a big one, but it would actually be too visually large for this space. Plus, we wanted to have a light fixture here. Now, I mentioned some problems we're going to have to solve. First of all, we're going to have to take care of the electric. You can see the existing wiring back here. There's no junction box. I'm no licensed electrician at all, so you need to hire somebody if you're not comfortable with doing this. But basically, we're going to be installing a junction box here. And the second problem we're going to be solving is that the mirror is a plug-in mirror. And so we have a plug-in over here, but not on this wall. And I don't really want to have the wire, the cord going over here visually. So we're going to conceal the cord. And to do so, we're going to have to install an outlet right here. And we're going to tap in to the wiring right here after we get that junction box installed and run some wire down here and have a switched outlet. In other words, this switch here will control that outlet. And so that is the plan. We're gonna do a recessed outlet, not a traditional outlet like this, because we don't want the plug sticking out. We need to put the plug kind of inside the wall, so I bought a recessed outlet. So here's the junction box. This is old work, not new work, so I just need to cut that out to size, slide this in, tighten this up, run those wires through. I'll turn the power off, of course, since those are live wires. As far as the outlet supplies go, here is the box that we're going to be installing, and then this is that recessed outlet that I told you about. Oops. And that'll kind of go just like that in the wall. And then we've got some 14 gauge Romex, because that is the Romex that the type of gauge that we're dealing with. It's relatively flexible, so I know that's 14 gauge, and it should be on a 15 amp breaker. We're going to need some wire connectors to make those connections, the mounting brackets for the mirror, and a laser level, and just a traditional tape measure to make sure we're good on our measurements. So let's do the electric and get that started right now. Before I commit to an outlet location on the wall, I want to make sure that the back of the mirror does not conflict with anything. So I don't want to put it down low. I want to put it a little higher, and I'll just mark on the wall kind of generally where I want my cutout to be. I do want that to be a direct straight line from the existing wires just north of where I'm going to make my cut, because I want the wires to be in that same wall cavity and I don't want to have to drill through any studs. So a rough cutout here. I'm taking caution to make sure that I don't cut anything that might be behind the wall that I can't see. And I'll loosely fit this outlet box in and make sure that that cutout is more or less good to go. I can fine tune it later. And with the power off and the multimeter confirmed, we've got no electricity going to those existing wires protruding from the wall. We're good to go for the next step, which includes fishing the new 14 gauge wire through the wall cavity. Of course, I'm going to clean up just a little bit. Could wait until the end, but this drywall stuff gets pretty nasty as you saw it out of there. So I'll fish it through I've got a little coat hanger here to give me, because I'm going through insulation. There's insulation on the other side of this wall, even though it's an interior wall. Don't ask me why. But that was kind of annoying. But it's a pretty simple thing. I didn't have very far to go. Again, I didn't have to traverse any 2x4s or any studs inside the wall. Just pretty much a straight up shot. And once I have enough length from the top part and the bottom part, I can go ahead and make my cut and snip all the excess off. If you've never stripped wires before, that's the next step. We're gonna take a razor blade and very carefully remove the outer covering of the Romex on both ends and just kind of peel that back a little bit, exposing the 3 wires. There should be a bare ground, a white, and a black. In the outlet box itself, we're gonna take a pair of pliers and just pop that one side down, because we're gonna have wires coming down through the top. So I want the top side to be knocked out, and it doesn't completely remove, it just kind of pushes in. And it's kind of challenging to get the Romex wire through there. You could certainly pull the wire through before you remove the Romex, so you're fishing through just one solid piece of wire as opposed to 3 separate strands. But at the end of the day, it's not a big deal, and it goes through pretty easily. You want to pull out about 6 inches or so. Again, not that I'm a pro or an electrician or anything like that, but found that 5 or 6 inches is good enough length here to work with and have a little bit of excess and a little bit of ability to move those wires around to connect them to the outlet, which is coming up next. Notice that my hole, I erred on the side of caution. I want it tighter versus looser. That's what she said. In terms of a cutout, because I can always remove a little bit of drywall to make that perfect fit, as opposed to the inverse, you can't add drywall back if you cut it too wide. You can Google the exact measurements. It's like 3 inches and something a quarter, 3 1/4 inches long and like 2 inches wide or something like that. Kind of depends on which outlet you buy as well, or box that you buy as well. Now, these are old work installs, so there should be a little tab on this particular model of receptacle that you just use your drill and tighten those tabs up, and it compresses it to the back of the drywall and makes it ultra snug. With our outlet box secured to the wall, we can transfer our focus to the top part, the protruding wires and the fish through wire. This is where our light is going to be, our light fixture, vanity light fixture above the mirror. And I'm making another cutout about 4 inches in diameter. Again, it depends on the size of your light box that you're installing, so you want to double check that. Err on the side of caution, make it smaller versus bigger initially so you can widen it out if you need to later. And with my hole cut through, taking really good care not to actually cut the wires, I'm ready to make that little knockout in the back of the outlet or the light box that I'm going to install. And I want one on the top and the bottom, since I've got incoming wires coming from the top once it's going to be installed. And then my fished through wire will be coming up from the bottom where we just did the outlet installation, if that makes sense. I'll give you a closer look here as to what I'm doing. Just kind of pulling those wires through the knockouts that I made, and kind of like the outlet box, we're going to use our drill to counterclockwise, so drill forward, and that will tighten those tabs on the other side of the drywall and compress it to the wall, and again, ultra snug. I made a little bit too, well, this was the original wires here sticking out. There's too much, so I'm going to clip those off and then take my wire strippers and cut off, I don't know, like a 1/2 inch or so on each end. I'm going to be using these special little connectors, so I don't want any bare wire showing once they're plugged into the connectors. So I'm going to start with about a 1/2 inch. If I need to take a little bit more off, I can. So I'm stripping the hot and the neutral, the black and the white there. The ground I don't need to touch, obviously, because that's bare. And we're going to do that on the outlet, because we didn't do that in the previous step. The outlet receptacle, or the outlet box that we just installed, we need to strip those wires out as well and prep those. And while we're down there on the outlet box, we're gonna prep our wires and point them this way, because that's the orientations of the screws. We got a brass screw and a silver screw. The brass screw will be the black hot wire, and the white screw, the silver screw, will be the neutral, and the green for the ground wire. Make sure you hook that up properly. Again, I'm no electrician. How many times do I have to tell you? Don't follow my advice. Hire a pro if you're not comfortable doing this yourself. You always got to be careful taking on potentially dangerous jobs from YouTube videos, right? Anyway, we'll get that, everything's tightened down. Those wires are secured to the screws on the back of the outlet. And this is what it looks like. Hello, pretty nice, right? It's ready to go, almost. We're gonna go back up north to the vanity light, the wires coming out of the wall. And again, strip out that Romex. All wires should be stripped and ready to go. Next, we're gonna pigtail. Have you heard that term before? We're gonna take about 6 inches of full 14 gauge wire, cut all 3. And then with the needle nose pliers, we're gonna take out the individual strips here and get rid of all that packing. And we just want the black, white, and bare, about 6 inches, maybe even less, of just pigtail wire. So pigtails, we're basically gonna be connecting these to the existing wires in the light box. We do want to strip them out first, and this will give us something to actually connect the vanity light fixture to once we're ready to install that later down the line, because the wires in the ceiling right now need to be connected to each other. Not the ceiling, but the wall where the light box is. You'll see what I mean here in a second. Right now, we're just stripping these little pigtails out and getting them prepped. It's a pretty simple job. Again, about a 1/2 inch or so to start with. And here are the connectors. I've got a 3-piece connector. And let me explain. We've got the fished through wire that connects to the outlet, the white one first, connected to the existing white wire coming out of the wall. And those two will be locked down. We'll put the 2 bares together, lock those down, and the 2 blacks together and lock those down. The third opening in each connector is your pigtail wire that you just cut. We'll put those pigtails in just like that. And see how it works here? So all those white wires are basically connected to each other, and that pigtail allows you to connect that to the light fixture once we're ready to install that in the future. We're gonna tuck everything away because we will be turning on the power and we want those to be capped and ready. We've got our pigtail sticking out. I am gonna put a cap on the ends of the white and the black because that black is gonna be hot. I don't wanna accidentally brush up against it or anything like that. Turn the power back on and we'll test out the outlet to make sure that we have it installed correctly, and 2 lights there to the right indicate a correct installation. Now, the fun part, we're gonna get to the actual mirror, probably the moment you've been waiting for. Sorry to distract. We've got the laser level out and ready to go, and I'm gonna make sure that that line is perfectly horizontal. I've got my float on my laser level, so it is perfectly horizontal and level. I'm gonna make some general marks here just to get an idea, and we're gonna be securing our mounting brackets to the wall for the mirror. We wanna make sure that each bracket has at least 1 screw going into a stud, so I'm gonna find the stud locations inside the wall. Here are the white brackets. They're a little wider than a 2x4, 1.5 inch on its side, so that means we're gonna have to install some drywall anchors to the second hole in each mount. So the first screw will go directly into the stud. The second one will go into a drywall anchor. And I prefer the little spiral shaped drywall anchors that you can drill into the wall. Those are the most powerful in my opinion and experience. So we'll go ahead and get these mounts, and you have to make sure they are oriented in the correct way, because on the back side of the mirror, once you go to install this, we're gonna pick it up and just basically drop it onto this mount. You wanna make sure that mount is oriented correctly and not flipped around. So it looks like this. And we want that super snug, not overly tight. See that? Not overly tight where your mount actually compresses to the wall. We gotta glove up so we don't get fingerprints and oils on the new mirror. Hello, Doc. Move it or lose it. Why would the door be open? We're gonna be lifting it up and plugging it in first. Is it plugged in? Take note, make sure you get a receptacle that allows for a longer cord that drops down, not out. You want sufficient room. And with it plugged in first, we can lift it up 2 people and drop it down onto the mounts. I'm letting go. Hey.
But the cord underneath.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think we can just tip the cord up like that. Nice, and then we can slide it as we want to here. That's pretty cool. And don't forget, this mirror is a switched outlet mirror. In other words, we installed an outlet that's tied to the switch. So for the mirror to turn on, you got to have it switched, which is what we were going for. And now we'll take the plastic film. You've noticed that there's plastic film on the mirror. So. This is kind of the grand reveal of the actual mirror. Up until this point, you don't really get a true appreciation, but when you take off the plastic, beautiful. Hello. Wow, I like it. All right, the grand reveal. Power on, and then boom. Wow. And then anti-fog. No shower right now, obviously. Turn it off, and then 2 taps will change the color. 3 taps will change the color again, and 4 taps will cycle it off. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then power off, power off. Nice. Here's a closer look at those buttons if you are interested. Very nice sensitivity to the touch.
Yeah.
Can I check the shower mirror?
Huh?
Can I check the mirror?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey. Honestly, I thought the anti-fog would extend to the entire width and height of the mirror, but it's totally sufficient, and this mirror is an absolute steal. Great value, looks amazing. It's got really high quality light and anti-fog. We are definitely keeping it, and hopefully this video helps you out. Thanks for being with me.